Gather close, traveler. The path ahead winds deep into the blackened forest, where truth wears a crooked grin and laughter echoes like teeth clicking in the dark. The first begins far beyond the shoreline, on a floating kingdom of pleasure and illusion, where gold clinks and dice tumble. A man loses everything to the glittering whispers of chance and vanishes into the sea. Some say it was despair, others debt, but the ocean doesn't care for reasons. It only takes. Next, we follow the scent of iron and fur, up the tower steps of an ancient university, where two hunters drag a slain beast through the corridors of learning. They claim it was their right. The law agreed. But the air curdled, and the walls remembered the blood. Not every monster walks on four legs. Further still, we arrive at a quiet village marketplace. There, the people mutter and curse, pockets empty and bellies hollow, though the scrolls say all is well. Inflation eats like a famine, slow and smiling, and jobs, once plentiful, now vanish like smoke in the cold wind. The leaders call it a cooling, the people call it something else, but none of them can name the hunger gnawing at their days. And finally, in the dairy glade, a war brews, not with swords but spoons, skim or whole, plant or beast. The elders rewrite their scrolls of nutrition. The children rebel with almond froth. The milk changes again and again. But deep down, no one knows what to trust, only that the glass is always half empty. You've entered the woods now. There's no going back. This is the Convoluted podcast.
It's wild, it's twisted, headlines hitting like a slap and you missed it. It's madness, I'm tapped out, live on the scene and I can't find my way out.
And welcome back to the Convoluted Podcast, the only show where you get your tragic cruise stories, dorm room bear horrors, economic doom spirals, and milk-based morale victories, all in under an hour, hopefully in under an hour.
Hopefully. It's like NPR and Reddit had a chaotic baby and raised it on the Pop-Tarts and bad decisions.
Yes, I'm Jesus, aka Tyrant, Dominus, philosopher of fast news, slow burns, and occasional anime references.
And I'm Liz, resident gremlin, milk apologist, and probably the reason your HR rep started locking the break room fridge.
So today we got a stacked episode. We got one of our stories. We got a man who jumps overboard over a cruise ship after losing $16K at a casino.
And two Cornell bros go full midsummer and skin a bear in their dorm.
Inflation keeps creeping back. Joblessness claims are rising, and economics are out here saying it's fine, like a guy plugging holes into with ramen noodles.
And we wrap it up with a dairy discourse. Whole milk is back, baby, which means I've been right the whole time and my bones are stronger than your Wi-Fi signal.
So pour yourself a beverage, maybe not pea milk, and let's get into it.
Quick reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop us a comment with your worst cruise story or the weirdest milk you ever tried.
And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere where you're listening to us, follow the show, leave a rating, and tell a friend, a roommate, or someone who's once processed wildlife in your bedroom. Every little share helps us grow.
Word of mouth is free and powerful, just like my opinions on almond milk. Let's start it with the show. How have you been?
So, pretty. Things are like getting a little more stable around here, as we've talked a little bit beforehand. September definitely is going to be a hectic month for me and my family. We're trying to get ready for a couple of big changes here and there. I think in the last episode I told you, I don't know if I mentioned this, or did I tell you privately that our fridge broke down? Did I? I don't remember.
Yes.
I told you.
Yes, you did tell us the fridge. You found a fridge, but you had to knock off like the cabinets that are on top because it's slightly tall.
Well, we haven't done that yet. But
You haven't gotten that far. Okay.
Yes, but miraculously, our fridge revived. It started working.
For the moment.
No, it's working. Yeah, it's been working for the last week. we have no idea what happened. We just like one morning, my mother instinctively went to open the cabinet because we still left it plugged in. And she just went in there to open something because you know how you just go on instinct, right? And she felt it was cold, and I'm like, just give it a second. I closed it. I told her just wait a little bit. I opened it. It was chilly, so we ordered some fridge thermometers, like digital ones, to kind of get a better gauge. We ordered some, and the next day we put them in there. Left them in there for an hour, checked on them. They were at refrigerated temperature, you know, where it's supposed to be like in that like Goldilocks zone. Okay, like, okay, it's staying there. Let's leave it again and we'll check on it in like 3 to 4 hours. All right. And it stayed in that same temperature. And we've been keeping the thermometers in there and nothing has really changed at all. They just started working again.
That's good.
Well, it's good. It saved us like $2,000. So.
Yeah, I know, right? I wonder if it was just you guys moving it around, cleaning it out.
Maybe
the cleaning around the fridge, because that's what we do. Usually every 6 months, usually we get behind the fridge and just clean it, just because, you know, because dust bunnies, they still float, right?
Exactly, and it was maybe a little bit of poor circulation or something. That thing gets cluttered. We tell my mom, don't stuff things in there. You gotta keep it at least a little bit flowing in there. But yeah. It's working. Still down a washer, but luckily we have a spare one. I think we're one of the few families that have a spare washer just sitting in our bed. So now we're in the midst of trying to fix our old washers, see if we can, or if not, it's gonna get. But we do have a washer at least till further notice. Some positive and some. Yeah. But how's your week been?
I worked nights, dude. What do you think?
Well,
and it was hell. It was hell. I'm telling you.
You're talking to
my last night was my only like solid night. Like my last half hour, I was still a half hour late leaving, but it was the computer stuff, just the little stuff that had to be done, and then I was free to go. Like it wasn't like the night before where I was like literally it was 30 minutes after I was supposed to leave and I was still scrambling to like leave on time. So yeah, my nights have been chaos. Yeah, they decided on Wednesday night it was a great idea to up the pars on a one main machine. My cart was overflowing like this, so I had the OR cart like this, right? All the drugs in those drawers, but then I had drugs on top of it, just like piling high. There was a lot of surgeries that day. There was a lot of nerves that are piling. Lots of medications to be put into the other machines. I'm like, this is gonna be a nightmare. Yeah, I didn't leave on time that night. I like skipped all the break recordings I had to record on those days. I had to skip all the computer stuff that had to note saying, "Hey, I've done my stuff today." Nope, I was running out that door like so fast. I'm like, well, it's just not important tonight. The next night, easy breezy. I was like, what enough with this? The last 3 nights have been chaos. I never got breaks, man. That's how busy it's been. And if you're listening to this in front of work, you don't say shit. Don't tell no one.
Okay. Our lips are sealed, everyone. You know, no one say nothing. Well, it seems like you've had a hectic week, to say the least. But, well, you have a fun trip coming along, so you look forward to that.
Yes, I do. I leave for Chicago, so there won't be a recording next weekend, guys. Sorry.
No, we should be fine. We should. All right, then, everyone. We're gonna jump into our first story here. So there we are, day 3 of the cruise. You got your third pina colada. I've lost my sandals and we're watching the ocean go by when suddenly
some guy leaps off the deck like trying to win a gold medal in an aquatic despair.
And you look at me dead serious and go, see? I told you gambling ruins everything.
I said that after you dropped $40 on a slot machine with flamingos on them. We're not getting that back, babe.
Okay, but this guy dropped $16,000 on the ship's casino, and that's not just a loss, that's a plot point.
And And excuse me. And you just know someone was filming it instead of helping. Oh my god, babe, look, someone's doing that Titanic challenge.
Don't joke, Liz. This has actually happened. Dude lost a fortune, gets overwhelmed, and jumps. Total tragedy.
But also, maybe don't put a Vegas grade casino in the middle of the floating hotel with unlimited booze and no clocks, just a thought.
Right. Cruisers come for the buffet, stay for the existential dread.
And now we're stuck in our deck chairs whispering like, do we tell someone? Meanwhile, Karen next to us like, excuse me, add less shrimp, still gluten-free.
Every vacation starts with dreams and ends with drama. Classic.
On August 30th, 2024, Jay Gonzalez Diaz, our 24-year-old passenger aboard Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas, tragically jumped overboard after allegedly losing over $16,000 in the ship's casino. The massive cruise ship, which had been departed from Florida on a week-long Caribbean route, was only a few days into its voyage when surveillance footage captured Diaz climbing over the guardrail on one of the upper decks and disappearing into the ocean below. According to passengers and partial crew reports, Diaz had spent several hours gambling heavily on the onboard casino before the incident. Fellow travelers said he seemed visibly distressed, pacing and muttering to himself. Witnesses also noted that alcohol was likely involved, not uncommon on cruise lines where the drinks flow freely and 24/7 indulgence is practically encouraged.
The Coast Guard launched an immediate search covering over 600 square miles of open seas with area and water patrols. Despite their efforts, Diaz's body was never recovered. Then officials' search was called off roughly 48 hours later. What makes this story so deeply troubling beyond the tragic outcome is the context which it unfolded. The cruise ships is operating in international waters, often beyond the reach of traditional gambling or mental health regulations. Casinos' operations on board are subject to the laws of the country that the ship is registered in which frequently a tax-friendly flag of convenience like Panama or the Bahamas. Royal Caribbean issued a brief statement acknowledging the incidents, calling it deeply saddened, and stated they were cooperating with authorities and respecting the family's privacy, but offered no further details. There is no confirmed report Diaz had known gambling addiction or prior history of mental health crisis, but several passenger accounts described him as agitated, sweaty, and clearly in distress during his final hours.
Critics are pointing out that cruise lines like Royal Caribbean market themselves as floating paradises while offering high-risk environments with minimal safeguards for vulnerable individuals, especially when alcohol, isolation, and absence of land-based support systems collide. One overlooked detail, Diaz was traveling alone. No travel companion, no safety net, no one to intervene. And with no formal casino floor oversight, unlike in Vegas or Atlantic City, there were no clear protocols in place to stop him from escalating bets or cutting him off before reaching that catastrophic point.
Oof. It's not just the money, it's the setup. You're on a ship, isolated from real life, your phone barely works, and there's a casino literally built to keep you inside. No clocks, no windows, free drinks. It's trapped with ocean views.
It's not like you can step outside for fresh air and clear your head unless you're ready to go for Olympic dive off of deck 12.
Gamble addiction thrives in isolation, and now add an ocean, alcohol, and zero accountability. It's a psychological minefield. Yeah, so definitely.
You want me to?
It was kind of it's a tough situation, right?
Right.
Like we were recently in Vegas, and we did our fair share of gambling just for some shits and giggles. But we, I think there was only one time we went a little too overboard, just playing one game. But we were there with each other, kind of a little bit of egging on, but also like, maybe we should stop too. But definitely you could definitely tell some people are the people who are there, who are just there to gamble. I think we had even one incident of an individual who like gambling took everything from them. Remember that one? So
Oh yeah. That was still a comment that still resides to me. And I'm like, okay, buddy. Just
so
because you're down on your luck does not mean you have to push the negativity on everybody else.
exactly. So now add this. You're basically on a floating island. You're basically on a floating casino. What are your thoughts
Oh,
on
you've
this?
never been on a cruise. That's right.
Yeah.
You've never been on a cruise. I've been on what? 3 cruises? No, 2 cruises. 2. So yeah, no, I avoided the casino like it was the plague because there's other things to go have fun with.
Yeah, that's the thing is you gotta find other things to buy your time. Like it was a week-long cruise. Like you gotta find something else to do. If not, you're just gonna be stuck doing the same thing over and over. Mostly if you're just losing and losing. It's it can get very like you're falling down a pit, right? And it sounds like that's what Jade happened to Jay. There's a point where he like jumped off the ship.
Yeah, that's crazy how it got that far. Um, yeah, feel sorry for the family, and I don't know why he would go by himself too. That's the other thing. Like usually, you always try to find somebody to go with, whether that be a good friend or, um, you know, that kind of thing. So I think everybody needs to, have a little buddy to go with. I mean, granted, I probably wouldn't have mind going by myself, but I probably wouldn't put myself in a casino for 24 hours, 48 hours straight. So, are you okay,
Go on.
Jesus?
Yeah, I'm just checking something.
Yeah. It just, yeah. Cruises are expensive, but that's why you make the point of going. There's all sorts of events on cruise ships, and it's just not gambling. You got your buffets. Some of them open 24 and hours the whole time, and the drinks are flowing definitely. But we did a comedy night. When May was younger, I used to give her up to the things. So I have a couple hours myself to go do adult things, and especially when I go to like comedy things are not meant for kids. And we've done bingo. We did all sorts of things. And then all of us depending on the trip, we were all having fun together, doing whatever, playing games and whatnot, but not in the casino at all. I think we might have taken a gander past it. Oh, cool. Walk by.
All right, continue then.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. It's like the there's a lot to do on those cruise ships, so not just the casino. There's other things to explore, especially when we dropped off at land ports. Be like, ooh, let's go check this part of the town out. I haven't been here, literally. So I've done the Bahamas ship. I've done an Alaskan. Now we just get Jesus on one. Anybody want to support us on going one?
Go podcast episode on the seas.
Exactly. That'd be fun.
All right, then let's see here.
We did talk about it, how it's cheaper to go on a cruise ship and retire.
True. It is. In some aspects.
Okay. Where would you like me to go?
Right there. International water.
All right. Cruise casinos are basically the Wild West with the more shrimp cocktails.
Seriously, land-based casinos have licensing oversight. People watching for at-risk behavior on a cruise. The dealer's just trying to make sure you don't vomit on the ship.
Also, what government are you going to complain when things go sideways? The ocean?
Gotcha. So that's the other thing. It's like you're basically there are some level of regulation because like we read in the article. It's like it's basically based off where the boat is registered, right? So there is some level of regulation, but it's kind of hard to enforce some of these regulations when you're just out in the middle of nowhere. Like, who are you gonna call? What cops are you gonna? They probably have security on these boats, right?
Yeah,
But
they do.
but but to for this level of oversight, for an individual to be overspending, like the other thing is like, from what I was kind of looking on it, the way he ended up with this much quote debt is due to a credit line that he had with the ship. So I'm like, there should have been some level of limited credit line for you, and like
Imagine
16K is,
a lot of money, especially now with the economy. What?
and like for such a young individual, like what average 24-year-old has 16K?
Line of credit. Who's got that kind of credit?
Exactly. So their official statement was bland. We're saddened, here quote, we're saddened and respect privacy and cooperating with authorities, end quote. They're all technically true, all super safe.
Which is code for we hope you stop asking questions before this affects bookings.
So if you squint hard enough, you could see lawyers massaging the sentence into existence. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's kind of like, who's at fault? Was it Jay? Was it the crew line? Just the overall behavior. It's a lot. It's a lot of little things, right? Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
it is in some ways it is falls on Jay for that level of spending. There's some people who have who are just like this we said earlier, like me and Liz were just like goofily gambling. I think we didn't we had some fun. We lost some money there, but it's not, we kind of like knew we were gonna like we just played for fun. But it's when you're
Yeah.
when you're, but I don't think you and me would have got to the point where we were in like quadruple digits, or even I don't even think triple digits. Like double digits. Okay, we lost double digits. That's fine. We're here for having fun. Triple. Okay, we really gotta stop. A quadruple
Yeah.
quadruple digits. Like, what the heck did we get rid of? We're in a movie, and at that point,
Right.
at this point, he hit 5 digits, and then like that's terminal. Which hopefully they'll find it, but it's a C, sadly. But yeah, this response from the crew line is, yeah, definitely it's like a PR thing, right? You just gotta try to because then people are just gonna keep going like, hey, what you should have done more, you gotta regulate more. So like, and it's just gonna cost them more money to try to fix this because it's not just one ship, it's multiple ships. It's just a lot, and then training, it's like a lot of more work that they already have to do that they don't want to do. They don't, like, they just want to keep running their thing, making money, keeping money, making money.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all the point, the bottom line, right?
Exactly.
Could the casino have stepped in? Like capped his losses or flagged his betting behavior?
This would have required the system designed to protect people, not profit off them. So unlikely.
Even with a cooldown timer, like, hey, maybe don't spend 5K in 45 minutes. I get that when I play the mobile games. Candy Crush is more ethical than this.
Yeah, how would you have done this if you were running a place like this, Liz? Casino wise, how would you handle? We'll say a 5-day cruise. How would you handle someone with some
It would
level
cap
of
them out, but be like, okay, if you spend 1,000 in one day, yeah, you can't gamble for another 24 hours or something like that. 24 to 48 hours. Like, obviously, you're not making it, buddy. Walk away, go eat, go drink, go
oh,
hang
like
out.
a thousand in
There's
losses,
music.
1,000 in losses, right?
$1,000 in losses. Yeah,
Okay.
$1,000 in losses. That. I think that's adequate. That's like okay. That's
Like,
kind
if
of
you want to
pushing
lose more
it.
money, come back the next day.
Yeah, 24 or 48 hours. Come back. We'll allow it. But I think somewhere around that range, even like 36 hours, something stupid like that. But because there's other things to be looking at the cruise. Hey, buddy, there's a buffet. Go check that buffet out. Or they have a music band playing in the next 45 minutes. Go listen to them and hang out. Maybe make some friends. I don't know.
Yeah,
There's all sorts of things. Bingo. There's stuff to do. There's other things. There's free events that you can go attend that doesn't cost a dime. Yes, you're paying for the drink package, but is it worth it? Yes, absolutely.
exactly. It's true. You have to, if they sectioned off things like high rollers, like if you're a high roller, you put a deposit, like, all right, here's the money. You can lose an X more amount of money. Like, oh yeah, if you're a high roller, you can lose $25,000 and you'll still be able to be in this area. And do like that. Mostly when it's such a thing. But then you get into these level of issues of like, this one's good. This isn't just a gambling issue, it's a cruise issue. You sold a fantasy of indulgenceness with zero consequences.
Yeah. Until there are consequences, like, oops, please refer to section 3B of our safety brochure next to the spa discount coupons, end quote.
You mix alcohol, loneliness, false glamour, desperation, and this is what happens.
And don't forget the karaoke. That's the real last straw.
So yeah, it's this thing where it's like, when you're like on a cruise, it's an ideal of indulgence. You're having fun. There's no worries. That's kind of what vacations are for, right? You're just away from everything. But it can also get a little out of hand, right? So you mentioned like buffet, like, oh yeah, you can eat anything you want. Should a cruise be at fault for you like losing your waistline because you indulged too much? That's where people are gonna get a little like, oh yeah, you were at the buffet for like 3 hours and now you can't fit on your like size 2 bikini. Like should they be
That's
getting?
a dream. But no, and honestly, everybody goes there, but sometimes some people lose weight because they're not as stressed out too. So you do have wind up indulging. So whether that be food, alcohol, drinks, whatever, you know what I mean, or mocktails, I don't care. But they, you know,
Yeah. So the real question, what is the last straw for people? I think this story in particular is more so a large case of something like, not this is not probably always going to happen. It's just a big story we found because it's the biggest story we have. There's probably been smaller cases of people losing probably a couple $1,000s, right? There's people probably that lost $10,000, but the thing is they don't go to the extremely scary set point to where they jump off a ship. You know, that just shows what level of the mindset this person was in that moment. It's like they had nothing else to lose, and that's the sadder part here. Like, I don't think you're gonna. Hopefully, you won't see someone who literally is on day 5 of the cruise and has been basically drinking and eating and like realize what a mess of a pig they were. I'm like, oh my god, I can't go back to land and jump off a ship.
yeah. Yeah, it's sad when you think about it like that. But yeah, again, this is why it's important to go with friends. It's good, responsible friends. I'd say that because sometimes you get the friends who encourage you, who are the dumbasses. That would just keep going, egging you on.
Yeah, dude.
Yay, water.
But yeah, if you have even a mix of those friends, it creates a fun balance too. You get
Yeah, you want to have the fun one. Yeah, egging you on. Oh wait, no, let's just walk away. Let's go check out this comedy guy that's coming on, or this this band that's gonna be about to play. Oh, there's so many things to like. You need that equal balance. But again, I don't know where his mindset was to go alone. Yes, I don't think you've never been on a cruise. You wouldn't go by yourself. You'd be like, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
true.
So.
Unless it's one of like those event cruises that have specific things to do. But
Oh yeah.
But
Those
anyway,
are always fun too.
But yeah, that's a topic for a later. So, at the end of the day, this wasn't just a gambling story. It's a human story. One where all the glossy cruise ship marketing couldn't hide the cracks.
It's a tragedy, but also a wake up call about addiction, about oversight, about what happens when paradise is built without safety rails, metaphorically and literally.
Cruises are sold as escapes, but when you combine isolation, indulgence, and a high stakes gambling, sometimes the escape becomes permanent.
So maybe before your next vacation, ask this: is this trip about relaxing or running?
And maybe leave your life savings off the craps table.
Unless you want to become a cautionary tale on our show. In that case, thanks for the content.
All right, let's see. On to the next story. That was a wild one. That was definitely a wild one. A sad one, but a
Definitely
wild
was.
one.
So, yeah.
But well, time to get
I'm
wild.
telling you. Yeah, time to get wild. I'm telling you, someone definitely saw two guys lugging a dead bear through the campus like it was a dorm room couch.
No, 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 no. There is no confirmed footage of a bear being carried. You're falling for bear propaganda again.
Bear propaganda? I literally saw a Reddit post that says two dudes, one bear, Cornell campus, no context. That's not fake, that's college.
I'm just saying, maybe they had it in the back of a truck, or they skinned it off site and just brought the pieces back. You're picturing a parade float.
I'm picturing two frat bros with camo hoodies dragging 200 pounds of fresh bear through the quad while someone shouts, "Yo, is that for bio class?"
Look, if that happened, someone would have filmed it. This is Cornell, not a nature documentary.
And that's your mistake. You keep assuming Ivy League kids are smarter than Florida man.
Okay, fair.
In late August 2024, two students from Cornell University found themselves at the center of a bio backlash after skinning a black bear inside a campus dormitory, specifically inside shared common area used by multiple students. The university confirmed that the students had legally hunted the bear off campus in upstate New York. Black bear hunting is legal during designated seasons with proper permits, and sources indicate that both students were enrolled in wildlife or environmental sciences programs. Here's where it gets gnarly. Instead of processing the animal outdoors or at a licensed facility, the students chose a field to dress and skin the bear inside the dormitory shared common room, a space that includes a kitchen, lounge furniture, and access to dorm bathrooms. Photos posted online by disgusted floor mates showed the bear's skin carcass in a tiled bathroom area, buckets of blood, open coolers used for storage meat, a literal bear hanging nearby. Unsurprisingly, it didn't go over well.
So, Cornell released a statement calling the act deeply disturbing, but clarified that no laws have been broken. According to New York State regulations, the students were in full compliance with hunting laws. No university code explicitly prohibits the skinning of wildlife in dorms, because who wouldn't have thought to write that down? The school said it would review its housing policies and speak with students involved, but again, no charges, no exposure, no formal consequences. Students have not been publicly identified, though peers claim they were experienced hunters and probably thought this was normal.
Once photos leaked, the story exploded online, with the reaction ranging from "What the actual hell? This is a horror movie behavior. Technically correct is the best kind of correct, but also ew. Face dorm hunters respect the harvest." Some commenters defended the students as practicing sustainable hunting, while others said it was an obvious case of rural hunting culture clashing with urban academic expectations. A few environmentalists take even praise that they used the whole animal, noting that the meat was reportedly saved and the hide may be preserved or taxidermed. But most people, outraged, especially those who have to share the space. One anonymous Susan said it smelled like raw meat and bleach for a week. I couldn't use the kitchen. Another wrote, I don't care if it's legal. It's traumatizing. What if someone walked in on that?
All right. So technically, they broke no laws.
It's like saying it's not illegal to throw a raw steak on the floor of a shared shower, but it's still a crime against vibes.
These guys followed hunting regulations, got the permits, tagged the bear, but then dragged it into the dorm like it was their emotional support. Vanishes? Venison.
Just because you can doesn't mean you suit mates want to wake up to a murder scene next to the Keurig.
True. So yeah, this one, yeah. So the question in this is, was it wrong for what they did? Like we said earlier, lately they didn't break any laws. They didn't break any policies. But I think they kind of broke this unwritten rule of this is a shared space. Like you got to be cool with everyone about like you just can't. That's I think way beyond.
Yeah, send a viral text. Hey guys, we're bringing a bear to skin. Is this appropriate? No, go somewhere else to go and done. Like I don't know about you, but I've witnessed a pig being killed and skinned and waking up and right in front of me.
No, yeah, I've seen
that. That's a little drastic. Like so, I imagine that in a dorm room space, shared space, you, me, your brothers, my sisters, everybody in one room, like walking past us to go use a bathroom or use the kitchen. Like that's. Yeah. I know some of us couldn't handle that. That's like a stomach ache, and then you wouldn't be able to use the kitchen because I'd be like freaking out, be like, "What if the bear had diseases and we're just getting involved with it?"
Yeah, because on top of that, it's not a slow process. It takes a couple hours to do it properly.
Yeah,
and it sounds like they were experienced hunters. Even if they were experienced hunters, it's gonna take some time. So they were there for a while. Doing this, you got to drain the blood. Yeah, like I said, Liz has seen it. I've seen it multiple times when we have to, when they have to kill an animal for the meat and stuff for parties and stuff. So I've seen the process, and it's no slow process to do it. Like if you're doing it right, at least for for pigs and cows that I've seen, to get all the meat. It takes meticulous because that's the people I've witnessed doing that it's their job to do it, so it's like they're being meticulous, and it sounds like these hunters had some experience with it, right? But the thing is, like you said, it's like, bro, this is where I come and like chill to go like watch some Netflix, like not to have like a bear being cut behind me, right? Like that's not cool. Yeah. I think that's the thing that's outrageous about the story. Like, yeah, just because the policy for the dorm says like, yeah, you can't skin a bear it doesn't say you can't skin a bear. And yeah, that is sometimes a fun thing to say, like, well, it doesn't say I can't do it. Like, yeah, we have all had those moments. But
I'm not saying we never have those moments. I'm just saying there's some certain rules that's unwritten, but you just go, oh yeah, that's probably not okay.
Yeah, there's the unspoken rules, right? Like, and that's the other thing.
Wanting to drag a bear and skinning in your bedroom. This would be fine. It's fine, right?
Yeah, it's where everyone goes. It's like, and it sounds like there's some comments of some other people that it smelled like that for a week. That is such a lingering smell. Like, yeah, because depending on I've been to like places that it smells bad, and it can, oof. And if it lingers like bleach, just the smell of bleach alone is like.
Just always, I'm gonna get 2 more to go. Okay.
So yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Bring this along just in case.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So we just talked about the common room. What's the others?
This was a common room.
We talked about that.
The people's room, not your backwards meat lab.
So yeah, exactly. Like we just talked about. What else? Got you got country. Trying to see the other sections to talk about. Oh, here we go. The public health section.
We also talk about the biohazardous blood, guts, bacteria still on the floor.
That's the bathroom wasn't built to handle whole bears. It can barely handle a 19-year-olds with Axe body spray.
Honestly, those two were one raccoon away from a CDC visit.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the other thing, right? Like, yeah,
The sanitation of it all.
Sanitation, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Because yeah, like the places I've seen these things done, they've been barns, they've been like concrete, like places where that's meant to like butcher animals, like they are meant, and like even when done when out hunting, most people do it like in the back of the truck too, and most of they leave a they probably put a tarp out.
A tarp.
Yeah, and they probably did that, but it's you can only do so much, and it's like going into the air. There was apparently you said there was buckets of blood. Like it's a lot. And you work at a hospital too, and I was like,
oh yeah. Even then, that stuff is like wrapped up, sealed. You never see the shit out of it. I mean, like I know it's there. I know it exists. I know it's in somebody's like. Some of it's taken to labs, but they're properly sealed and contained. Everybody's got the markings on it saying what it is, who the patient was, blah blah blah, and goes. But nobody sees it, and it's taken to the lab. And if it's other stuff that gets destroyed, you know it's in those bags, but you don't touch them. You just know. So I find that like, yeah, there's proper etiquettes to doing these things. It's like just doing surgery out in the open. Yeah, let's just do open air nature. That's fine. It's fine. You won't get an infection. 2 weeks later, that patient's dead.
yeah. Let's talk about if these guys were just trolls or were they just clueless?
Honestly, question: were they trolling? Like, what's gonna bear in the bathroom dorm for flex, or were they just oblivious?
I think it was a dangerous combo. Confident rule, extreme unawareness that normal people don't keep latex gloves next to their cereal.
I bet they were like, and they said, quote, bro, it's fine. We watch a YouTube tutorial.
So yeah, I think that's the next one. It's like what was in their heads before they're like, hey, let's go back to the dorms, and that's the other thing is like what was going through their minds right before all this. Was it trolling or just oblivious to it, right? That's another question. It's like, what were these guys thinking about? We won't know because, we can only speculate. But the quote normal concept, what we were saying is these unspoken rules. Like, I think you and me both would have like, nah, let's just, we killed the bear. Let's just do it out here. Unless it was like the middle of the night. I don't know. Not even if it's the middle of the night. You just tie just if they had a truck, just keep it in the back of the truck and just get it later. But what sucks is like a lot of people tell you like you have to kind of. It's
my philosophy was why don't these Ivy League schools have a room built for this kind of stuff? In general, like we know these people hunt. We'll just have one room designated for this kind of shit.
Bro, they could have
out of everybody's sight, out of everybody's mind. Nobody sees it.
Yeah, get one of the science labs. So like, hey, we need to get this. Yeah, this could have been. I think they were honestly
handled a whole lot differently. I don't know where. I get it. College kids are broke. But these are Ivy League schools. They should have some sort of like, I don't know, a designated area. How many science labs on campus that could have been done? I don't know. Like, I just think about these things. I'm like,
so yeah,
I get it. We're broke kids, and this is our food source for the year, and I crap. But
like, hopefully they used the meat like they had to.
I hope so. They may make some bear sausages, and if they do have it on sale, I'll buy them.
So what do you think?
Maybe
What
not the
before we close up? What do you think of them not like of their quote no punishment?
I that's a little. I think there should be some sort of like they have to do a deep clean. That would be like good one. Maybe replacing some of the furniture that might have been intact in touch with that. Some sort of thing. Like I don't some sort of punishment. Yes, a deep clean would be a great idea because bleach and blood smell that even turns my stomach just thinking about it.
Yeah, there should have been some a small, even if it was minor, some level of reprimanding for like ruining the experience for the other students. Like, yeah, they didn't break any policies, they didn't break any laws. We understand that. We're not saying they should be going to jail or anything. It just the ruining the experience for everyone else. It's a shared space, and they
It's college. I know there were supposed to be some crazy stories, but that was not on the bingo card. Just saying.
so yeah, these guys didn't break the law, but they did break the sacred code. It is I don't turn your dorm into a scene of from Fargo.
Right? Legality doesn't equal logic or hygiene, or not emotional scarring your roommates mid snack.
This was more than just a college prank. It was a case study in how rural normal collides with urban what the actual hell.
It may be a lesson why universities should update their housing policies to include these zones. Please do not field dress up apex predators indoors. End quote.
It's the modern college experience. You go to in for knowledge and leave with trauma, bear puns, and a vague sense of distrust for shared fridges. Oof.
At least nobody turned it into a TikTok dance.
Don't say that. You're gonna give it manifest it like them wearing a bear skin. All right. All right, let's get into the next story. It's a little bit more disappointing. You know, I applied for 5 jobs yesterday and got ghosted harder than my last situationship.
That's cute. I applied to a dog walking gig and they said I was overqualified. I have a communications degree, Chad, not a Nobel Prize.
I'm just glad this coffee shop hasn't figured out we only order 1 drip coffee and sit here for 4 hours.
Don't get them ideas. This is my office, my therapy, my rent controlled living room.
Real talk. I thought things were supposed to get better this year. Weren't we promised a soft landing?
Yeah, soft landing my ass. This economy landed like a shopping cart with a busted wheel.
Inflation's still up. Layoffs are rising. Every job I see is like entry level, must have 6 years of experience or your own and own your own forklift.
We're not in a recession. We're in a vibe session, and the vibes suck.
As of September 2025, the US economy is flashing mixed signals, and none of them are comforting. On one hand, the Federal Reserve says inflation is slowly moving in the right direction. The other people are still seeing absurd prices at grocery stores, and more folks are filing for unemployment than at any point this year. In the August consumer price index ticked up again, pushing initial inflation to 3.2%, slightly above the federal comfort zone. If it lowers than 9% peak we saw in 2022, but still stubbornly high considering how long interest rates have been elevated. This phenomenon is called sticky inflation. Prices go up fast when demand spikes, but they don't come back down when the pressure eases. Like your ex who ghosted you but still watches your Instagram stories. They linger. Food, rent, gas, and insurance remains pain points. Many consumers report that if they even technically earn more than they did in 2019. The money doesn't stretch nearly as far, and it's not just inflation, it's the cost of living whiplash.
Initial jobless claims surged again last month, hitting 14-month high. Retailers, hospitality groups, and even logistic companies, think in shipping warehouses, are quietly trimming staff off ahead of the holiday season, something that typically doesn't happen unless a downturn is brewing. Gig workers, especially rideshare and food deliveries, are also reporting sharp dips in income. Apps are oversaturated with workers, demand has plateaued, and algorithms change have made payouts unpredictable again. And in a wave of corporation hiring freezes, delayed state start dates for new grads, and remote roles disappearing faster than interest in threads, and you're got a job market that feels broken, even if it's still technically moving.
The Federal Reserve faces a cruel dilemma: lower interest rates at the risk of a second inflation wave, or keep them high and risk of slowing the economy into a stall. The Fed has held rates steady for months, signaling wait and see mode. But economists are split on whether this slow approach or prolong the pain or avoiding bigger crashes. Some say we're in a soft landing. Others would say we've just been spiraling slower than usual.
Here's a sleeper detail. Those Trump era tariffs on Chinese imports, most of them are still active, and they continue to quietly raise the price of imported goods, from electronics to clothing to manufacturing materials, which means businesses are still passing these costs to you. While the Biden administration had adjusted a few categories, it largely kept them intact, creating a long-term inflationary drag that never gets mentioned in daily economic headlines. It's like a pothole you stop noticing because it's always there.
Economists keep pointing out that 1. The GDP is growing, 2. The corporate profits are up, and 3. Unemployment rates remain below 5%. But here's the disconnect. None of this reflects of how people actually feel. Polls after polls show Americans are deeply pessimistic about their finances. Many say they live paycheck to paycheck despite working full time. Saving rates are down. Credit cards is at a record high. So even if the economy isn't technically in a recession, it feels like one. Hence the term "vibecession."
Like, have you ever felt like the economy is trying to jump you twice?
Yeah, it's like the first inflation picked your pockets, and then layoffs punched you in the neck while you're trying to Venmo rent.
Double whammy sounds too cute. This is like getting hit with a frying pan and then told it's good for character development.
So yeah, we're back at it, everyone. It's been a while since we talked about this because we've tried to avoid this talk, but it seems with recent stuff, we are talking about it again. To just note, it is it is a vibe session. As much as it is kind of cringy to say, it's kind of how it is right now, right?
It is true.
Yeah, because even if the numbers are saying we are that things are looking better, it doesn't feel better, and some people don't like it when you use the word feel. But for the average person, how they are feeling is kind of how they're reacting to right now, and it doesn't feel like that. Like, probably come October, I'll be in that boat where it just feels like that. Like I could, I'll be able to maintain what I'm gonna do. But I don't know. What are your thoughts, Liz? Yourself, your friends, your family. What are your thoughts?
I feel like we're all feeling that, especially with the inflation, definitely on groceries and stuff like that. And I don't know if you noticed, I've noticed, my mom had noticed that, the grocery ads have been kind of bare. It's not like anything you want to get. It's all like crap. And it's like, I don't want crap. I want meat. Um,
I can
stuff.
I can tell you now, some grocery items, at least 12% of the grocery items that I know of have gone up 18% up in prices.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell. I definitely feel that. We've been just kind of having to go, okay, well, we'll nitpick here, nitpick there, go here for this, go for that. You know, like we're going everywhere now. It's just like just slowly getting pieces, and it sucks is how we have to do that now. It's like it's hurting us in the pocket. So and I've heard some layoffs here locally here in the Portland area. Like it's happening, you know.
That's
I don't know if you.
that's the second half, right? The cost of living and then the level of unemployment, right? That's a balancing act.
It's not a good. It's not a good combo when you hear those two things go. You get the food prices going up, and you get in layoffs. So you're like,
And
ooh, this feels like 2008 all over again. We're getting that point. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember 2008 like it's still yesterday. So
it's been a while for me. I just can't remember. Well, I live day by day at this point. The days go
yes,
like
you do. Yes, you do.
time flies. And it's been, God, it's almost been 20 years since that. Getting close to that. So
I know, isn't that crazy? And I feel like we're still coming off of that, but then here we are going back into it again. Like,
Yeah. and
ouch.
hearing that word, I've never heard that word, sticky inflation. That
Me neither. That's something new.
that's something new, but that makes sense. Like, yeah, definitely inflation hit because so much is happening. COVID, tariffs, things like that. But then when things were supposed to go down, it just never went, right? It just stuck. It got stuck. So it
Particularly going up.
and I'm like, okay. And we're just at that point, right? We're just at that point where we just gonna have to try to continue. Let's see here. Trying to see any sections talk about that is interesting that we haven't kind of ghosting still haunting it. Kind of talked about that. The labor market collapsing. Kind of talked about. We kind of literally just talked about sticky inflation. Yeah, let's do the public perception.
Economists keep saying we're doing fine, but I'm still choosing between toilet paper and chicken thighs.
The data shows I'm thriving. My bank account says you up.
No one believes the numbers anymore because lived experience is the recession. Fuck
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, that's yeah. Continue. Let's continue this discussion. Yeah, it's I can mention like a few friends who are are getting to that point. They were just talking the other day of something similar to this, where it's not to the point where it's toilet paper versus chicken thighs. I always get toilet paper, I always get toilet paper. Wipe that ass. But if it gets to the point where we're just talking about amenities versus food, we're like, that's getting rough. Getting rough. There's then it's getting to the point where it's like entertainment versus survivability, right? Because then like when did it get to the point where you have to start and some might find this first world problem, but when do you have to start cutting streaming service to survive? Going out.
I'm actually thinking about doing that more. Thinking about that, I'm like, oh, should I cut another streaming device? I had to do something.
Or doing outings and things like that. Like, oh yeah, my outings I do every other week. Or do I have to cut those down? And that's as much as the data says I'm making money, and the numbers say I'm making money is like it doesn't feel like I'm making money. It doesn't seem like I'm saving money.
Right.
It's
right.
It gets to the point, and yeah, definitely it is a first world problem. But it's those moments that lead to those points of dread, and where the vibes. That's where we're going back to the vibes. It's like, why are you working, right? At that point, it's like we were talking to actually the last week. It's like we're working to enjoy those fun entertainments, those amenities that we get, like making those goals. Like we're working hard to go and hang out and grab a few drinks and watch a movie with a friend next week. That's why we're working so hard to make through the week. But when you can't do that because you can't afford to, then why are you working? The point, right? You're just working to live, and that's where we get to a whole different discussion. But it's just making
Refer to our last one we were talking about in our last recording.
Exactly. Okay, let's continue with the next section. Meanwhile, retail workers are losing hours. I've seen that, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this. I know a couple of people who've talked about this. Delivery apps are paying less than ever. I know one person who told me about this, actually. But be sure, let's celebrate a strong GDP.
These apps gave people a lifeline during COVID. Now it's like, congrats, here's $2.75 for driving 20 minutes and ruining your brakes.
Flexible income just means you're not guaranteed anything, but we can still pretend you're your own. Yeah, I know a few people who do these quotes second jobs or your own boss jobs, where it just, they were making some reasonable money during, like I mentioned earlier, the COVID. You just make some pocket change, or even then, some people were making a decent living just doing that as their main gig. If they were like pretty active, like any job, if you're pretty active in these kind of like gigs, you can make some pretty money if you're like, okay, I'm gonna do it, earn as much money as I can, and you can make a pretty good living, or you used to. But with the cost of everything, yeah, like the thing is with at least these like ride shares or food share stuff, or not, you know what I mean, food shares. But the price, yeah, but the price of gas going up is like, okay, is it even worth to travel to these places? Then the maintenance of the car, it's like it's not becoming feasible. It's like you're losing money trying to make money. And then it's just like, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee. Right. Like, what are your thoughts here?
I agree on that one. It definitely, I started doing it at the beginning of this year just to kind of supplement my income, and it wasn't worth it. It was like $20 here, and it'd be like 2 hours of work. It'd be like, that's lower than the minimum wage, so it's not worth it. Not worth it.
So yeah, technically we're not in a recession, but emotionally, spiritually, financially, we've been living there rent free because we can't afford rent anywhere else.
The vibes are bad. The money's gone, and my best investment this year was buying rice in bulk.
True. We're living in a world where headlines say economy is strong while your fridge just echoes when you open. That was me last week.
Honestly, at this point, I'd rather just say, just tell us it's a recession, we can stop pretending everything's fine.
Or at least give us a coupon for surviving it.
Inflation's high, jobs are low, but hey, we're still podcasting.
The last affordable hobby. Barely. Actually, yeah, I think we might have to. Those future costs, we might have to talk about that later. We had some fun ideas, and it might not be happening. Well, that's a future discussion. Let's go. But yeah, to other people out there, like this one's out for you. Cheers. I only have soda. You know where we're at.
Yeah, mentally we're elsewhere.
All right then. Let's get into this very odd story that I found.
Yes, I was intrigued by the one you found. I said, get whole milk, Jerry, not this blue cap sadness.
Baby, it's low fat. That's the healthy one, right? That's what the pyramid said.
The food pyramid also said corn was a vegetable and gave us a snack packs for breakfast. It did, Jerry.
But the skim milk has 40% more fewer calories.
And 100% less dignity.
You act like I bought home radioactive sludge.
No, that'd be more nutritional value than this watered down bone juice.
Okay, next time you go to the store and fight the oat milk bros for the fridge space.
I will. And I'll do it holding a glass of real milk like a Warrior Cream from 1994.
So, for decades, whole milk was considered a dietary devil. Loaded with saturated fats, caloric, thick, and creamy. It became public enemy number one during the 80s and 90s. Low fat boomed. Nutrition labels were judged like crime scenes, and by the early 2000s, low fat or skim milk was the standard in home, schools, and hospital cafeterias. But here in the 2025, something happened. Whole milk is back. But not just in the hipster coffee shops. People are buying it on purpose.
Whole milk sales in the US grew 11% in 2024, according to the USDA. Meanwhile, skim milk sales continue to decline. In schools, some are starting to petition to bring whole milk back to lunch trays, challenging decades-old federal guidelines. What changed? A few things.
Nutrition science has been quietly rethinking saturated fats. While it's still not good in excess, newer study shows moderate intake isn't linked to heart disease as directly as once one thought. Sugar and ultra-processed foods might be a bigger culprit in modern health problems. Full-fat dairy may even have neutral or positive effects on sorry, something in my throat. Metabolic health when it consumes as part of a blended diet. This has sparked a broader movement. Stop demonizing single ingredients and start looking at the overall eating patterns.
Oat, almond, soy, macadamia, hemp, pea. The non-dairy milk aisle looks like a farmer's market with commitment issues. But these milks are often highly processed, can have added sugars, oils, and gums. Don't always provide the same nutrition as cow's milk. Critics say plant-based milk has become more about marketing than health, especially since most consumers still choose them based on vibes and TikTok recommendations, not nutritional science.
Correct. U.S. policy still limits school milk options to low fat or skim, except for rare waivers. These schools trace back to 2010 Healthy and the Healthy Hungry Free Kid Act, which favored calorie cutting and fat restrictions. Now a new bipartisan bill introduced in Congress aims to bring back whole and 2% to school cafeterias. Supporters argue kids need healthy fats for brain development. They actually like the taste and will drink more of it. And whole milk could fight the declining rates of skim milk consumption. Opponents warn that high saturated fat diets are still risky, and this could backlash into unhealthy habits. My apologies. But the fight is heating up, and it's still happening over a carton.
This isn't just a nutrition story. It's a vibe shift. Milk, like so many foods, has become morally coded over the years. Skim milk equals discipline. Whole milk equals indulgence. Oat milk, millennial. Raw milk, libertarian with a TikTok account. And as food culture evolves, so does the messaging. We're not seeing a pushback against shame-based eating with nutritional saying like this. No single food makes or breaks your health. It sounds great until you understand you're standing in a dairy aisle having a full-blown identity crisis over which carton matches your personal brand.
Okay, so remember when drinking whole milk meant you were reckless with your arthritis?
Arteries.
My bad.
Yeah, like the same kind of person who doesn't wear sunscreen and thinks CrossFit as a personality.
Now it's like, oh, you drink real milk? Good for you, King. Stay nourished.
Whole Milk's had a better redemption arc than most canceled influencers.
So okay, so actually, so you are on the side because you can't. When was that actually the last time you drank, quote, real milk?
I don't even remember. It's got to be over 20 plus years. I have not touched whole milk or real milk in general because it was so long. I want to say maybe my early teens, because it used to be you would make you warm up milk to kind of go to sleep. I think that was one of the last times I ever had it.
Oh, interesting. You were one of those children. Okay. Because I think
it helped. It helped,
Yeah.
made me sleep. I mean, sometimes you have to do whatever it takes. You didn't have like what nowadays it's called magnesium to take or lavender or you didn't have access to melatonin in the household. I mean, you still don't. I still don't. So
too expensive now, Liz. Too expensive.
I know melatonin. I make it, but I can't produce it.
but what was it? Okay, let's kind of go a little bit further back. As a kid, I'm guessing, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We were both kids that grew up with the classic cereal and milk combo, right?
Yeah. Pretty much most when we went through phases, just because we all went through phases like, oh yeah, cereal milk, and then we'd be like, no, Pop-Tarts.
Exactly. But even then, didn't you drink your Pop-Tarts with milk?
No, I was warm it up and go.
Cookies and milk?
Been a long time since I had cookies and milk.
Well, you did as a kid, though.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Were you a whole milk or 2%er?
I believe I was a 2% milker. Yeah.
So you're
Sorry, my brain's not in the right place, guys. I apologize.
But yeah, definitely, we've talked about this before, that the milk industry has definitely had its hold in the government for a while, like big milk, the got milk era.
Yes.
There's definitely a whole thing about it. But getting into the science here, as much as we can, as much as it will take to believe, there is some aspect where we're getting to it. It's like of the sciences, we're learning things day by day, and there are definitely some people, like I have family that are unable to drink milk due to it's the lactose in them.
The lactose.
Exactly.
Enzyme, yeah.
So you basically
I can't do it.
Exactly, and that's why, for anyone who can't figure it out by now, Liz is lactose intolerant, so she can't drink it, and there's people like that, and then there's people who are getting to that point. Like, I feel like I'm getting to that point. I can still drink it, but I don't drink it as actively as I used to. I think I have 1 or 2 bowls of cereal with, quote, real milk twice a month at most. And that's when I kind of just want some cereal at this point. But since a lot of the family that comes visit me, or that like my mother, she can't have real milk, we almost never have real milk in my so it's always it's either a almond milk or one of those milks that have no lactate or lactose in those like specialty milks.
The lactate milks.
Yeah, those that just because she was suffering because of that, and it wasn't helping her stomach, so we had to get her used to some. She could tolerate these alternative milks, right? The almond, the soy, but it's not the same. And yeah, the lactate is almost, but it's not exactly. But it's one of the things, like learning this new thing that demonized the whole milk industry, like that it's you can demonize a lot of different foods and stuff like that. That's the thing. It's like I think that's the big question here. Is like we just got to learn. Like you just can't demonize one specific food. So there's a lot, and that's where I think this is the main thing for this this discussion for this one. It's like you just got to be careful what you're eating because no one person's the same. And like you have to know what's like healthy for you and what's like and healthy for what you're eating, right? Like just because Steve from next door can enjoy his like real quote ice cream during the summer and you can't doesn't mean it's better for him, right? It's just like it's a good treat. But
everything's in moderation, right? We always talk about moderation. Everything's in moderation. So I like that ice cream, I got myself a donut, a gluten-free donut. It was so good. It's been a minute, but it's good. And, we all have to enjoy ourselves occasionally. Life is, short, and we have to enjoy it, but everything's in moderation. You can't just go and, I'm going to chug that jug of, milk every day because that's what my doctor says is good for my bones.
Yeah, because you just can't go like full blown into it, and that's where the problem is. When it comes to these things, right? Because in probably the last decade or two, definitely the rise of these alternatives have really popped up, which is nothing against them. We've had it along the way, but definitely some of the quote propaganda against real milk has happened. But there is some level of truth to it too, right? But it's one of those things where you just gotta know what's suitable for you and your diet to not make yourself more vulnerable to some of these like potential health risks.
Right. We don't need to be paying our tax to the God more than we have to.
Exactly. And mostly these days when you're literally it's costing you an arm and a leg to go see a doctor, and like if it's gonna save you some money grocery wise too, it's at like we talked earlier, just knowing like, oh, if you can't have that, maybe you shouldn't, or it's like, oh, it's better to have that now, but in moderation you should, and it's gonna save you money. Like maybe buy your quote real whole milk by the gallon instead of your alternative, because it's gonna save you $2 or $3 and just have it in moderation compared to what you'll know.
That milk goes bad. Quicker than not cheese.
Like, true. So what are your thoughts, Liz, when hearing these things? I know you're not a milk person anymore, but like for your friends and family are still able to though.
Yeah. Why I'm the oddball, I don't know. I still question that every day.
Are you really the only person out of your family, or is there like a few others within your immediate? I would say immediate family.
Everybody else can have milk, no problem.
Really? You're out of your immediate family? Damn. How did you do that?
My mother can have it, my kid can have it, my siblings can have it. I cannot.
Okay. Damn. That's.
I am yeah, it sucks. So my mom doesn't drink milk unless my daughter has like one of those, like we get like the little like
quart?
What do you call that? 12 ounce, 16
yeah,
ounces.
the quart
The
one.
little milks, like the little bottles, the little bottles of milk that you can get, like the single one.
The single drinkable ones.
Yeah,
okay.
single drinkable ones. Yeah, so we occasionally get that because my kid wants, milk and cereal. I miss cereal, and sometimes I milk too. Just sit down and have a bowl of cereal.
Liz, just you can get your almond milk. Get your almond milk in that cereal.
Yeah, expect I don't want to pay $8 for my almond milk. Okay, stop being a jerk. It wouldn't last me forever. Almond milk can last a month in the fridge, and like my milk. So, but yeah, I honestly, it is one of those things. It's like I'm the only weird one. Like I said, it is everything's in moderation. We go through phases. We drink the milk. We don't drink the milk. We have the milk. Yeah, my diet took a turn back when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I mean, so that's where it really drastically changed. Like I didn't have it. Like I used to go, and that's what I used to do in college. Be like, oh, I really want that pint of ice cream.
It's like
I paid for it later. Wasn't quite sure what I was eating to cause it. Be like, oh, that's great. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But now it's like I can't have that ice cream. Let's get the almond milk. But then the almond milk and those milks are just as expensive. Like, you know, again, we're pinching that money, pinching that dollar. I have to forfeit that, that stuff. So I don't look go and buy it every day. It's not an everyday thing. So when I do, it's those rare little things. So, and every place you go doesn't charge you an uptick for having nut milk. I want my coffee. I'm gonna pay that extra 60 cents.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Continuing with this discussion is like the idea of judging people for what they eat and drink. That's the other thing. It's like when it comes to milk, definitely it makes you look a little bit more bougie when you're like, oh yeah, you want your half calf with all gluten free. Like it's just like why are you saying all these things? Get your coffee with creamer, and it just feels like it. But yeah, it's like one of the things like you just don't know what people are like, what they can and can't have. But going to the morality of just like knowing like, okay, now it's not as bad these days to have whole milk as you did before, because whole milk was like the
What I think about whole milk is what they tell kids, people who have WIC, which is women and children, right? And that's what, when they start weaning kids off, stuff, they actually make them do whole milk first before you go into.
Oh, I would not know that. You could explain that a little bit more than.
Yeah, so most of because you need those healthy fats and you need those healthy other nutrients, especially for somebody, kids need more than we need as adults, right? They need more because they're still building brain function, the everything else. So
they're still growing.
Yeah, they're still growing, and they still need more nutritional dense calories than we need as adults. So honestly, yes, it's kind of weird, but you stretch out to the whole milk, and I was questioning. I'm like, okay, so I had to switch my kid from a milk-based formula to a non-based milk formula, soy, to keep them fed. And I was freaking out. I'm like, oh God, how is this going to react to my kid? My kid fine. My kid fine. What the hell? I don't know. But yeah, we all have to do some sort of like alternative to keep the kids powered and eating, and whether that be whole milk or if you want to get skim or 1% or whatever the heck it is nowadays. So I still give my kid 1% more than I give him 2%. So sometimes it's the only option is 2%, so I have to go get 2%. So
but now you know
it's all about getting judged for having my milk.
So in the end, maybe whole milk isn't the villain. Maybe it was just ahead of its time.
Yeah, where are you? I'm sorry.
Bottom, little bit bottom.
It's the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or maybe we just got tired of pretending skim milk didn't taste like like drywall to run off.
The truth is, nutrition evolves. One decade it's low fat, the next is keto, the next is raw veggies, then back to butter is near coffee.
And the only thing we know for sure, food isn't a moral test. It's just milk. Calm down.
So whether you're whole, skim, oat, or just saying screw it and drink cold brew for dinner, we support your journey.
Unless it's banana milk. In that case, seek help.
Well, bananas flavored milk is actually pretty good. This has been your weekly reminder that food fads fade, but the podcast content that's shelf stable. And that, folks, is the episode. From international waters to dairy wars, we've covered everything that this timeline feels cursed but entertaining.
Honestly, if you told me last week we'd be talking about cruise ship, casinos, dark moon, bear butchery, milk fat conspiracies, and the ghost inflation, I'd believe you, because it's America.
The only country where your job can vanish, your oat milk costs $7, and someone still tries to justify skinning a bear next to a toaster oven.
If this episode stressed you out, just remember, breathe deep, drink your milk of choice, and don't let Jerome Powell control your vibe.
We'll be back next week with more unhinged news, spicy takes, and arguments about dairy in public spaces. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. But before you ghost us like a cruise ship's PR team,
smash that like and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching us there.
Or if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, follow, leave a review, and share the episode with a friend.
Or your weird uncle who drinks raw milk and probably has a strong opinion about cruise ship casinos.
The best way to support the show? Word of mouth. Tell your friends. Tell your coworkers. Tell that one ex who posts rants about inflation on Facebook.
We've been the Convoluted Podcast, where the news is weird, the milk is whole, and the laughter is non-fat.
Stay safe, stay weird, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Going with KBers to 11 with a block in the 95. Clear the night, we going, we got bees in the street, secrets on the block, this is channel TCP, live talk and cover. Locked up command with the mic and a bulletproof vest, reporting live from a scene that's a hot mess.